talent with the skills they need to be successful. We deliver mentoring. On my days, if you are looking for a mentor, you need to come to us. And then the last part is we also connect diverse talent into career opportunities, whether that's work experience, graduate schemes, because we either run them or we promote them in partnership with our partner employers. So today is a Friday check-in. Loads been happening at Generation Success. One of the first things I want to say and announce is the fact that we have just secured 15 additional roles in investment banking for you. 15 additional roles, and it's with an amazing company called TD Securities. And they are one of our prime partners when it comes to getting diverse talent into frontline investment banking roles. That's on the trade desk, that's FX, that's fixed incomes, that's capital markets, that is strategy, global strategy. These are amazing opportunities. And one of the things I'd love to say to you guys is we'd love, if you are graduating this year or you graduated last year, we'd love for you to apply to these roles because it is definitely once in a lifetime. So even if you can't apply, if you know someone that is graduating this year, has an interest in finance, I'd say you need to ask them or get them to apply to us and to our graduate scheme. The other big announcement, and I'll go back to the grad scheme because the application closes on the 4th of July, so only about another 15 days left. Another opportunity that we've got going on is we've got a 2-week paid fintech work experience program. And this is aimed at people from low socioeconomic or minority backgrounds or even disability or care leavers who, who have faced some kind of challenge. The great thing is that the employer we're working with wants to support those who have been through hard times because they believe that talent is everywhere, and those who have gone through those periods of challenge, they've got something in them that can be molded into something great. And although it's just a 2-week work experience, their hope is that would give someone a stepping stone to their dream career. And the grad scheme, all the opportunities I'm talking about today are all paid, are all really well paid. Some of them I'm like, I might have to leave my job for this one. Not good. And then, of course, we have now also got 124 roles across the UK. Most of them are in London. 124 jobs aimed at young people who are currently in universal credit, 16 to 24. Ideally, it's targeting those from low income backgrounds or ethnic minorities or care leavers or even people with disabilities. But all are welcome to apply. The key thing is with us is we are leveling the playing field of recruitment by creating social mobility friendly practices. I would normally have a guest with me in some of these sessions, but over the next few weeks, I thought I'll just speak. I'll just share what's going on. Although most of the talk should be about TD, and I will talk about TD. One of the things I'm experiencing right now is kind of there's just so many. There's growth pains as an organization because we have scaled this year to Ireland and the UK, and it was interesting. I had to pinch myself the other day because it just dawned on me that if we place all the young people, if you place young people into the roles that we've secured for them, in the next 12 months, we will be responsible for £1 million, over £1 million of salaries, paid salaries to our young people. That's just salaries. Now, imagine the platform that gives that young person for their career, but also imagine what that means for their families, their loved ones, what that hopefully means for our society. And one of the biggest challenges I have that I want to set to the team and I set to all our stakeholders is 1 million is amazing. Thinking about where we've come from to where we are now, £1 million for young people for salaries is amazing. But I'd love that to be 100 million of salaries going to ethnic minorities and people from low incomes. I'd love that to be £1 billion. Like, as an organization, the social impact we'd love to have is that it's helping people realize their aspirations. It's helping people, get into well-paid jobs, helping people get into elite professions, helping to change the diversity and the makeup of our sectors. Every milestone is something that kind of inspires me every single day to get up every morning before my alarm at 5 in the morning. Just been like, okay, all right, what's next? What can we do? And I hope that you guys can be part with us on this journey, because to truly change society, to truly move the dial when it comes to D&I, it does take a community and societal effort. And we've got such an amazing group of people, not just working within Generation Success and for Generation Success. We have an amazing group of mentors, of speakers, of social mobility champions, of equality champions, of student ambassadors, of dream hunters, of employers. But it just needs more. It needs more people to be involved in this subject. It needs more people to create opportunities. Now, if you're not sure how to do that, it's easy. Send us a message and we'll show you how. We'll show you how you can do it in a way that's not time intensive. And we'll show you how you can do that in a way that is time intensive if you have a lot of time to give. Or if you want to give money, of course, hey, we have to pay salaries. We have to make stuff happen. What was the other thing that one of the other insights which I had this week was from my call with William Hill. So there's so many organizations working with, not crazy. But we had a project with William Hill, and it was for them to it was like a skills-based volunteering program for their staff, for their future leaders, and each of the different groups that work with different organizations had to come and present, and they had the CEO of William Hill there as well. And one of my greatest kind of insights or reflections for this week came from that event, because the group that we had them for like 6 to 10 weeks. And these were William Hill employees working on a GS initiative. And one of the things that happened was they cared so much about our mission, the work we do, and about doing a great job and not letting us down, that it actually hampered their progress, because it meant that no one kind of took ownership. No one actually took the first step because they were scared of making a mistake. And it just reminds me of our dream hunters, of our young people. We have so many amazing, talented young people out there who want to enter the elite professions, but they're so scared of failure that when an opportunity of a lifetime comes, like opportunities that we provide, where it's done by us, so it's done in a fair, equitable way, and there's a job that they want, they still sometimes fail to grab it with both hands. And we even have instances where people are offered, like an example, we did a speed mentoring event a few years ago at a law firm, and a partner said to this young lady, wow, you've really impressed me with your story. I will organize a 1-week work experience for you, paid, at our firm. And these are the top 20 law firms in the UK. Like, a lot of people give their right arm for this opportunity. And you know what happened? She didn't turn up. The young lady did not turn up. She didn't turn up because she was scared. It was an environment that she wasn't used to, but she was studying law. She was first in her family to go to university. She was studying law because she had aspirations to get into the law. And someone gave her that opportunity, but because she was so scared, she didn't take it. So and it happens a lot. So when the William Hill guys were presenting their their work to the rest of their counterparts. And, they were honest about what happened, and it took kind of a fierce conversation between us and them to really wake them up and wake us all up and say, actually, we need to just take action and take ownership. And they've delivered some great stuff so far. But that also, once again, reminded me about our young people, because not everyone has someone in their life, in their networks, in their friendship group, who is willing to just give them that fierce conversation, to go beyond the surface. And this is why it's so important, the work we do, especially around matching young people to mentors, because sometimes that is the only time they get to go beyond the surface. And going beyond the surface is so important. And what I mean by that is, even with our mentoring relationships, our mentors often come back to me after the first session saying, that young lady or that young man you connected to, they seem like they've got it all together. They have a plan. They know where they want to go. And I mean, yeah, okay. Tell me. All right, they want to go into banking and finance. They want to go into technology. They want to go into law. All right. But tell me more about that. Like, where within the law do they want to go to? Or where within technology do they want to go to? Why do they want to go there? What are the challenges that they are really facing? Like, in terms of their plan, are there any other minor steps they need to take to get there? And then once you ask the mentors back that, and they're like, oh, no, actually, no, they just had the end goal. So this is why the mentoring relationship is so important, because having someone to really challenge you, especially when you think you've got everything all in hand, most of the time you don't. Like, let's just be honest. Like, even myself, like, I wake up every single day and I know that and I'm walking in my purpose. I know exactly what I want to do in terms of changing society. But every single day I'm making decisions, and I'm lucky I've got mentors who can guide me. But actually, we don't really know the outcome, what the outcomes of those decisions could be, and we don't really know where our blind spots are. And this is why having a mentor is so important. Anyway, let me go back to that story. Let me go back to the William Hill guys. So, the frank discussion really changed that. And same with the young people, having a mentor to challenge you can really change and move you in the right direction, or even kick you up the backside when you need to be kicked up the backside, or give you that confident arm when you need a confident arm. But yeah, so the William Hill guys, the conversation really helped, and it worked out really well. And then they asked me for my reflection, and I shared that reflections about the fear of failure, and I spoke about the difference between a large corporate and a social enterprise. Like, a large corporate, you are in this bubble where it is a command structure where there's a lot of processes and procedures in place, and in a small social enterprise and a small business, like, every single day you wake up facing potential failure, potential catastrophe, knowing that could be around the corner. Like, one mistake, one late payment, one lost contract could mean that stuff just really hits the fan. So every day you wake up with that in mind, and so, like, you learn to embrace potential failure. Is there, there is no, we always say there is no failure because there's always learning curve from it. But like, when we feel that fear, when I feel that fear, especially, I feel that every day. So it's like, you learn to embrace it. You learn to, like, be like, okay, what can I control? What can I control? What can I move forward? And what I found is the mentality of the corporate is, when they see failure, potential failure, it does scare them so much, and then they want to revert back into the comfort zone. Whereas here, it's like, no, we need to push back up past the comfort zone to make it happen. Anyway, so the CEO of William Hill, Steve Perry, was there, and they asked him for his reflections, and it was really, really cool, because, like, it was really cool to learn to hear from a chief executive of such a large organization sharing his insights. And he was like, James, what you said, fear of failure, really resonated with me, because coming up through the ranks I was really scared of failure. Like, but as I've got further up through the ladder, I start to realize that, that I've got one chance to make a difference. And I want to take that. So then you learn to embrace that fear of failure, because in order to move your organization forward, you have to embrace it. I was like, wow, all right, Steve, we are, we can see eye to eye. So that was really profound. And sometimes I do love those conversations with those chief execs, because you always think that there's something very, very different about them. And you learn in some ways there is. They're not superhuman, not at all. But one of the things I've learned through the work we've done at Gen Success, through supporting over 10,000 young people, working with over 200 of the UK's and most successful leaders, and partnering with 65 employers, is there's secrets behind success. And you've come to see that racism, bias, lack of opportunities, technology taking jobs, those are really kind of 20% of the pie. 20% of the pie for getting into your career. Like, they are really in major parts, because they are really major parts. 20% sounds small, but they are really major parts. But the 80% is to do with mindset, because the mindset will determine how you see the world around you. It will determine whether you see yourself as a victim or a victor. It will determine whether you see COVID and hearing of recession as a catastrophe, or you see it as an opportunity, as changing dynamic. You see that the world is changing. Is that you can see that as a bad thing, or you can see that once again as an opportunity? How do I land on the right side of the coin? Like, it challenges you. Having the right mindset will challenge you to ask the right questions. They often say that the quality of your life is determined by the questions you ask yourselves, and that's so true. So it really resonates with Steve and the other CEOs, because you do find that their mindset is so much different to the people underneath them. Because often is, they're embracing that failure part. It is how they deal with, because everyone, what I've learned also is that everyone has that critical self, that person on their shoulder, and everyone has those, everyone has those moments in life where they question their own ability. And it's how they deal with that, it's how they challenge that, it's how they get through that makes them so different. It's whether or not they are willing to push themselves out their comfort zone, or retract and then try to find something that is within their comfort zone. And, like in that kind of project with all the different teams, what I constantly found and hearing was that a lot of them were just retracting back into their comfort zone, producing good work. But good work is not good enough, if that makes sense. Like, when I say good work, it probably sounds bad, but I mean, it's excellent work, because of course of excellent quality, design looks great, spelling is fantastic, thinking is great, it's all technically sound. But when you look at them and you realize they've got so much more potential within them, you realize actually, like, yes, it's an excellent standard they're delivered, but is that just the standard that they're aiming for? And it goes with a lot of people, which we work with. And something I've realized myself is like, yeah, we're doing great stuff, but is that the standard we're aiming for? Is that, because if that's the standard, then it kind of says there's no more growth. So one of the things I really want to challenge leaders and anyone watching this is continue to ask yourself, is that all I'm aiming for? An example is, I started this year with a vision board, and that vision board was, I don't know, I could show you guys the vision board. Maybe I should show you guys the vision board. Let me go to my vision board. But The vision board, actually, well, let me show you. The vision board is what how I start my day, and it reminds me of why I wake up every single morning, what I'm working towards, and what I'd love to achieve. And of course, it was for this year. Um, and since I did Tony Robbins last weekend, and it just helped me just to challenge my own my own thinking. So this is my vision board I'm sharing with you guys because we're all friends here. Um, I got a Slimline James because at the start of the year I said to myself, I'd love to, um, I'd love to get back to being slim and start every day feeling happy, healthy, and centered. And this is like pictures of my youth when I was in good shape. As you can see, I look very, very different to how I am now. But the at the heart of it, it was about being centered, happy, and powerful every single day. And and as you can see here, as a young person, I was very happy. I had that confidence, that aura of like, yeah, I got this, and that's what I want to do when I walk into a room. Be seen as someone who's centered, who's got all together, who's got this, who's a leader that anyone would want to follow. And then the other part was about kind of getting married in the seashells, and this is a picture of the seashells. Now, where my mindset set has shifted, and I've asked myself, is this the standard I'm aiming for? Is this picture here? Because this is the kind of holiday, the wedding villa that we booked. And originally it was I'd love, originally my vision was to take my family on holiday, and celebrate the wedding together in this wedding villa. And since then, it's like, okay, I'd love to own this type of wedding villa. That's my new aspiration. That's my new level I'm aiming for. Um, but the same thing happened last year when my life and Gen Success started to change. When one day I woke up and I started to say to myself, I don't want to be, I don't want to just have a seat on the table. I want to be the table. I say it started to change because when I changed my mindset to being opportunity rather than being invited to opportunities, we started to win contracts with partnerships with other organizations. The strength of my conversations and our conversations just changed because we knew that we had something to bring to the table. And sometimes it just takes that shift. And I mean, other parts of my vision board is to build a team, a larger team in London, the UK, and globally. Is to build our operation model. It's like win awards, all that type of stuff. That's how I start my morning. And the key thing I wanted to just touch there is just about mindset. It's my life started to change. Well, life started to change in several phases. Years ago, in 2010, 2011, my life changed when I became a student of life. And it's your life starts to change when you become a student of life. So true, because I then started to learn what was my vision, what was my values, what was my mission in life, and why did some of the things I do work so well. What my strengths, what my weaknesses. It was during that period I learned I had dyslexia and dyspraxia. For so many years I had not kind of really tapped in to what was going on. And then also last year during COVID, my life changed because I decided I want to be the desk, the table, rather than being invited to the table. Mindset is always something that we have to work on. And it's funny as well because a few years ago, when we were going, growing as an organization, I had a mentor, and one of the biggest challenges we had was, of course, driving revenue into the organization to make us work. And he goes, you know what, James, I don't know how to say it, but it's like, you know what, James, you haven't you're still playing it safe. It doesn't hurt you enough yet. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, like, there's hardly anything in the account. Like, I am hungry. I'm struggling. And he was like, that's the problem. You're coming in with the attitude where you think you've done all you can. But if you really, really had to eat, or you really, if you're really struggling, you'd find a way to make it work. You'd find a way to sell a package. You'd find a way to make sales. You'd do all you could to make it work. So what I'm just saying there is sometimes when you think you've done it all, you can always do more. And actually, one of my challenges I've got with my I was meant to talk to her earlier today with my assistant, was to say my challenge to her is to break me over the next few weeks, over the next few months. But what I mean by that is I need her, because she's the person who's kind of managed my diary, who's the gatekeeper, who is ensuring that I meet all obligations and all that type of stuff. As the person who's now closest to me, I need her to push me further than I can push myself. If that makes sense. I need her to, like, one of my aspirations is to do public speaking and get paid for it. And I've already started getting paid for it, but to be more impactful as a public speaker. And one of the things I've signed up to is Toastmasters. So it's like examples that I've asked her to make sure I book myself into the Toastmasters and practice sessions and to fulfill the work. Continuously seeing how you can break yourself is interesting. I'm not saying break yourself mentally and physically, but I'm just saying just push yourself further than you think you can push yourself, and then you'll see how far you can really go. Anyway, this has been a really good check-in. I've shared with you the new opportunities. I've shared with you what's happening in terms of my thinking and how GS is going. And I will be doing a few more check-ins with you guys over the next few weeks and over the next few months. I think one of the things we're looking at is to create a webinar series where we'll be interviewing diversity inclusion experts in this space. Before I leave, some of you might not know that there are 5 social mobility or 5 key drivers for career success. Those are awareness, career choices. They are networks. Well, networks make connections. They are soft skills and awareness of written codes. And those are stuff such as if you go into a bank in a finance interview, in some banks, if you turn up in brown shoes and a loud tie, automatically they'll dismiss you as a candidate. Even though you are the best candidate they've ever seen, they'll say that you're not a cultural fit. Now, I will come back to the other 2, but that reminds me of a story which I love talking about, which is how many people out there have ever gone into like your cousin's house or your little brother's room, and he's playing a game. He's like, "Hey, do you want to play a game?" And right there, they've got you, because you're like, "I want to play a game." No. And they just like, yeah, just play a game. And when they say, "Oh, you go first," that's when you're in trouble, because you play the game and then you're like, boom, and then you don't get through. Like you wipe out embarrassingly, and then the kid's like, "Oh, I got this now. Let me show you. It's my turn," and the kid just wipes the floor with you. It's like that with the unwritten codes. It's like that with some of these social inequalities that we have in our society. Because what happened was that that child, like you, what happened was that because you had never played that game before, you went in blind. And so of course you got shot because you didn't know where to look. But that child had played that game so many times, thousands of times. He knew when there was someone behind the wall, pow. When someone was in front of him, pow. When there was someone about to come out from the left or behind him. He knew that, so he knew how to navigate the game. And this is why in society we have such disparity in terms of those who come from affluent backgrounds and those who don't. Because those who come from affluent backgrounds, they have been taught by their parents, by their networks, those unwritten codes. They've been taught how to navigate through society. Whereas those who haven't had any, who haven't had the script, who haven't had the guidance or the map, are just going in blind. The other two factors are being missed by recruitment strategies by employers, and lack of awareness of what employers are looking for. Now, those are the 5 drivers, and they impact everyone at every stage in their career, not just when they are starting out as a young person, but when you are a manager, when you are a director, when you are a VP, even you are CEO level. It's so interesting. Like I said, at Generation Success, we are so lucky because we get to talk to so many different people at each stage of their journey. So we start to see the nuances, but also the similarities and the key drivers. And ultimately, like, no matter what happens, at the heart of it, like I said earlier, it's kind of beliefs and values, it's the mindset. Because you could either allow those things to be your driver, and they are drivers. You can say, actually, I don't have all those things, so that's it, I'm stopping. Or you'd be like, okay, so these are the 5 drivers of success. How do I build on that? How do I make sure that I am level at that playing field? Because my talent, because I've had to work twice as hard to accumulate that knowledge, will shine through. And you know, in a sense, that's what we're trying to do at Gen Success. Is we are working to level the playing field, but it does take the people that we help to then take the opportunities to also drive themselves forward. And we need more mentors, we need more speakers, we need more sponsors. So if you are an employer who wants to partner to change society for the better, then give us a call. At James at generation-success.com. If you're a young person who wants opportunities, then check out www.generation-success.com. It is an exciting period for us. It is so exciting. Like, I'm not sure if you guys feel it, but I am excited. You should be excited too, because we live in a generation like no other, where the barriers of entry are lower than ever before, where the status quo, they're struggling, and it's a prime opportunity for someone to create their own thing and take over. Like, think about all the biggest companies, Facebook, YouTube, Uber. Like 20 years ago, they weren't here, and now they're dominating. The barriers to entry are even lower now because you now have tools where they had to invent tools. Those tools are there for you to just build on. Seize the opportunity, create your own door. Let's make it happen. And I can't wait to kind of check in with you guys at the end of the year. I can't wait to check with you guys the next time I'm on the live. It's been an exciting opportunity. Oh, one last thing. Before I go, I do need to just share with you once again our TD page. So do check out, if you're interested in those opportunities within investment banking, do check out www.td generation-success.com TD, and then you'll be taken to our TD page. Like I said, TD are an amazing organization, have an amazing culture. Please do check out. There's 22 days left. We have an amazing round of opportunities within debt capital markets, within FX, within global strategy, within IE and GED fixed income, within metals. So please don't delay. Take the opportunity now and let's make it happen. And I'll see you next time. Take care, guys. Bye. And my colleague Mudupe will now end the live.